Hey folks, welcome back to the channel for another video. I'm Wes with Extreme Laser Engraving. Today we're going to do something really cool. We're going to tackle some clear acrylic on the fiber laser. So we're going to prepare this acrylic and we're going to put my company logo on there, Extreme Laser Engraving logo, and we'll see how this turns out. I've done some testing with some test grids and things like that. So I'm going to go with some speed and power settings that we found on the test grid and see how that actually works when applied to an actual logo. But one thing to remember, guys, when you're engraving clear acrylic, especially for all you laser engravers out there, it has a coating on both sides. You actually have to peel that coating off of each side. It can be kind of tedious. But if you don't peel that coating off, it's going to ruin your engraving. So be sure you take that off of both sides first before you do this. And when using a fiber laser, CO2 is really the best thing for acrylic, but when you're using a diode or a fiber laser, it has to have something to stop the laser because it's clear. It will go all the way through. With it going all the way through, that's not necessarily a great thing because you're not going to get a consistent engraving and the laser just passes through. So I like to use black poster board. A lot of people will use tempera paint and paint one side and do that engraved side. I put tempera, or not tempera, but I put black poster board on the bottom and I set it on top of the poster board. That gives the laser a place to stop and actually engraves the back side. So when I set my focus point, for all you laser engravers out there, I set it to the paper and not to the material. Alright, so my focus is to the paper underneath, and the engraving will actually happen on the underside of it where it stops at the paper. And then we'll go to the sink and wash it off to get our results. So let's give this a shot, see how we come out, guys. We'll see you in a minute.
Okay folks, so we're going to use light burn. And we are going to do an acrylic with the Extreme Laser Engraving logo on it. So open light burn, and I'll go down here and select my laser. I'm using the 110mm lens on a 60W MOPA fiber laser. We will bring in the file. I have it under recent project. There it is. Select, hit P for center, and we'll make that a little bit bigger actually. So I'll highlight my work here, and I can go up here to the width and height. I want to make it, let's say 90. We'll do 90mm in width. Not that much bigger, but big enough. Actually, you know what? Let's take it to 95. Make it just a little bit bigger. There we go. 95. Gives us a little bit more space there. Center that. And now we select our line. Now based on settings that I've already done on the settings grid and testing that I did on the other clear acrylic, I'm going to go with a setting that I used, which was 1200mm per second, 45 frequency, 200 Q pulse, 1 pass, no crosshatch, and we were only at 15% power on that one. We're going to see how this comes out. My line interval was, I believe it was 0.08, which gives us 300.5 dpi. 1 pass. I had my scan angle at 0, as you can see here. Flood fill is turned off, and I did enable dot width adjustment. So I click this, it enables me to change my dot size from 0.080 to 0.020. Smaller dot size means finer details. So we changed that dot size in order to get some finer details. That seemed to work on the test. Let's see how it actually works on the logo. And let's look at we have it set to fill, that's correct. This is what our engraving will look like on the clear acrylic. And then we frame and start. I'm gonna line this up and let's see how this works out, guys. See y'all in a minute. Okay guys, as you can see, we actually have the black poster board down here that actually stops the laser and allows it to actually engrave on clear acrylic and burns from the underneath side. So it's gonna, if you have writing or pictures, you might want to invert that or actually mirror that to get words to come out correctly depending on which side you want to turn it on, but you can see the image from either side when you put it on there. So you'll see what I'm talking about when we're finished. Let's go ahead and line this up. Get this framed up. I'm going to bring it down a little lower because that's where the light's at the bottom. That looks good for me right there. And let's go ahead and get it started and see how this goes. One more thing, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that if you're using the black poster board like I am, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but see how it has a white core? That's important. The white core actually will stop the laser because the laser won't go through white. So therefore, it stops at the white and keeps it from burning all the way through to the base, which is very important. All right, it was that quick, folks. Looks a little rough, but we got to clean this up. So let's take it inside and clean it up and see how this looks. Okay guys, we're here in the kitchen and we are going to clean this off. As you know, it's the back side that we did, so that's the side that we'll clean. I usually just use water like this. I'll run water over it and I'll take my finger and just rub across like that, gently. If you guys know a better way, leave it in the comments. And that gets all of that charring off from that paper, irritating on that paper. And then I generally will take a paper towel and just kind of blot it dry. Acrylic scratch is really easy, so we try not to scratch it. Just kind of blot it dry. Alright, we got some results. Let's go see what they are. Let's put them in the LED acrylic base and see what we got, guys. So let's go back out to the shop. See you in a minute. Okay, we're back in the shop. So, you know what? I had mentioned my test grid earlier to you guys, and I want to show you that. I actually set up this test grid here with different speed and power settings. So you can see how each one would come out. So this was at, I did this at 1200 millimeters a second, 45 frequency, and the Q pulse was 200.
with one pass, always one pass on acrylic. And I went with this one here, which was actually 15% power and 0.08. Yeah, you probably can't see that with my shirt in the background in the camera, but 0.08 hatch line interval, and that seemed to be the cleanest look. And in the lighted base, this actually shows up pretty decent. Matter of fact, make it look better, let's turn the light out. So we can change colors, have a remote control. By the way, if you want your logo or saying or text or your favorite photo on one of these LED acrylics, we can do that for you. You can go to our website at www.extremelaserengraving.com. But let's check out the logo that we just did. Here we go, folks. Extreme Laser Engraving logo done on acrylic. Turn it around for the camera. Pretty neat. And to actually make this a little bit better, I'll go ahead and turn more lights off so you can see it in the dark. This gives it a bit more contrast. These make really cool night lights for your kids, your grandkids. Goes great on the mantle. Goes great in your office. Definitely attracts attention and flash. As you can see, it's on color changing mode. They come with a remote. That came out pretty good. What do you guys think? If you like it and like the comment, I would love to hear from you guys. If you have any ideas that you want us to do, I'd love to hear from you as well on that. But do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Y'all have a good day.